we are missing a huge opportunity in biologics. By the way, apart from Biocon, no other company in India has global scale in biopharmaceuticals. Okay, and that's a danger, because the future of pharmaceuticals is biopharma.
Right.
80% of new drugs are biologics, and to make biologics, we need biomanufacturing. And we saw in the pandemic what a gap there was, what a shortage there was of biomanufacturing capacity around the world. And the country that got the most advantage was Korea. Korea has invested massively in biomanufacturing. Between just three companies, which is, Samsung, Celtrion, and SK Bio, they have got the largest global biomanufacturing capacity as a country. Okay. In India, yes, Biocon has global scale. We rank, right now, we rank about 13th in the world in terms of global scale as a company, which I think is really big, because there are, in the top 20, we rank 13th, which is, I think, quite a recognition of our scale, okay? Because many other companies are behind us. Many of the big pharma companies are also behind us, because many of those big pharma rely a lot on outsourced manufacturing. So when you look at the big manufacturing companies, no, undoubtedly the Samsungs, Celtrions, all of them are ahead of us. And just one country, Korea, has invested so much in biomanufacturing. If you look at what is the position in India, Indian industry does not invest in biomanufacturing for three reasons. It's very capital intensive. It is much longer in gestation than generic, plants. Okay, these small molecule plants, and of course, the regulatory barriers are very high if you want to if you want to build global scale for for global markets, because then your regulatory scale and your plant design becomes even that more expensive. Most Indian companies are willing to kind of invest in small biomanufacturing facilities, with which just meet kind of WHO norms, if you know what I mean. And that does not allow them to pass muster with US FDA and EMA. So these facilities, unfortunately, are not US FDA approvable. Let's put it that way. To make them US FDA compliant, the investments almost bump up to almost 50% more. Okay, unlike small molecules. So that is where really the challenge is. And how do we do all that? So what I'm saying is that we must invest in biomanufacturing. Even today, the PLI scheme is only of advantage to the small molecule generics, where we already have global scale. So you're actually diverting money for more of the same. Whereas what you should be doing is having a PLI scheme specially focused on incentivizing biopharma investment. That is my view. Okay. So biopharma investment really needs to be incentivized much more than what the PLI scheme is doing today. For instance, one of the very curious things I find is that the eligibility criteria that have been drawn up, 30% of weightage is being given to ANDAs. Okay. Now, I find that really not favoring biopharma, because you must remember that to develop one ANDA, it takes only about $2 million, $2 to $3 million. Okay. To develop one biosimilar BLA will cost you $100 million. So there's a ratio of 1:20 at least. I mean, if I take even $5 million as an average, it's 1:20. Okay. So it could be anywhere between 20 to 30 times in terms of the factor between small molecules and biologics. Now, where is that being factored? So if you were to just apply the eligibility criteria, no biopharma company would be eligible. I mean, you look at Biocon, okay? We have already brought to the market 6 biosimilar drugs. each at more than $100 million a piece. Okay. So you can see that we have already invested almost close to $1 billion just bringing these molecules to the market, and we have a pipeline of many more, which will cost us another few billion. The kind of investments we've made in our manufacturing is also over $1 billion. Who is going to make those kind of investments if you are going to constantly ask for how many ANDAs have you filed? You understand? So, and I wish industry bodies are involved in these kind of policy making decisions, because we would have actually pointed out these kind of things to the government, saying, listen, if you want to really create a very large biomanufacturing hub, then you need to incentivize biomanufacturing.